Yes.
I can ask, do they play any games with the flaming sword? Has anybody pointed to that?
Oh boy, do they. Yeah. Yeah. I guess my two favorite flaming sword. Okay, I should explain. That, after Original Sin, God kicked Adam and Eve out, he placed two variously translated as angels or cherubs or cherubim at the gates to protect the gates of the Garden of Eden and bar the way back to the Tree of Life, right? So these angels are said to have flaming swords, and this is one of the reasons why we can't get back to Eden, because they're holding up flaming swords. And one of my Eden seekers, William Wilcox, who is one of the many who have explored the Iraq rivers, had this sort of quasi-realistic theory of where Adam and Eve came from. He thought that they came from northern Iraq, which is weird because everybody else thinks they come from the south of Iraq. But he had this whole complicated plan for, as they were being kicked out of Eden, floating downstream on, I believe it was the Tigris, they would have passed by these petroleum bubbling wells of bitumen. Bitumen? How do you pronounce it? Where it's slightly smoky, coming out, so it's like foreboding, a kind of gothic thing, and that was his analogy for the flaming swords. The other one, I guess, was the Florida Panhandle. Also thought that he had this sort of libertarian vision of the Garden of Eden, that the founding fathers, were there to protect the Tree of Life, which was liberty, So it was really guys on horses with swords, and a lot of great imagery there. What else?
Any other questions? Where's Michelle? Is she there? Do we have more time, or should we get right to the signing?
We can go to the signing if you guys want, whatever. You have more time if you guys.
Well, what else would you like to talk about?
So what does the Bible mean? I don't know. Okay, one more question, Michelle.
I want to know why the Hollow Earth people didn't make it in.
What are the Hollow Earth people? I should know.
Yeah, the Hollow Earth people. Why did the Hollow Earth people not make it in? You're breaking my heart, Michelle.
You broke my heart.
As you know, I did write a chapter about the folks in Arizona who believe that the Earth is hollow, and that there is a second inner Earth inside the outer Earth, which you can get to via the polar openings at the North and South poles, actually. And they've been trying, every year they try to raise money to charter a giant Russian nuclear icebreaker to go to the North Pole, equipped with gyroscopes and things, to go through the polar opening inside the inner Earth, where you can take, get this, a monorail to the Garden of Eden.
Wow. So the Garden of Eden is still around.
Oh yeah, so is Atlantis
lives
is in
there?
there, and the 12 tribes of Israel. It's all inside.
All inside.
Yeah. So you just got to get there.
Wow.
So that's book 2. I'm getting on that ship.
Great idea.
Yeah.
That would make a good book. It was interesting at the Creation Museum to learn. One of the lessons I learned was that there are moderate creationists and extreme creationists. So whatever you think is the extreme, there's always someone farther out. Because the moderate creationists do accept the idea that the Earth is round, but then they say that there are people there's a passage in the Bible that refers to the 4 corners of the Earth, and therefore the Earth cannot be round because it has corners. So these people say the Earth is flat with corners, and they're crazy. So it was interesting to see the moving bar of craziness.
There's actually, I have to say on that note, there are at least 2 creation museums. The bigger, flashier one is in Kentucky, and then there's one elsewhere, I believe it's in Florida, and they both believe that dinosaurs and humans coexisted. But one believes that dinosaurs made it onto the ark, and one believes they did not. Huge feuds there. So yeah, you can always get more extreme. I find that sort of a strangely comforting notion.
What city is it in Kentucky?
Petersburg.
It's right near the Cincinnati
Near
airport.
Cincinnati Airport, yes.
And it's very popular. I think they're the ones who are building they now are building a life-size replica of Noah's Ark nearby. So, because I don't know what the statistics are. When I wrote my book about 3 or 4 years ago, it was something like 40% of people believed in the literal version of Genesis in the Bible and the young earth, which is the earth is 5,000 years old. 40%. So that was a remarkable statistic to me.
Yeah, it's still
40%
hold
of
that.
Christians or Americans? Or 40%?
Americans.
Yeah. Amazing.
Well, thank you guys very much for coming.
Thank you, everyone. Both authors will be signing copies of their books over here now. So thanks for coming.